very talented young people who have decided to follow.
Then another year it starts again. Well, this is different.
We should definitely be talking to those wonderful people. Once again, we urge you to share the feed on Facebook.
Hi there, I'm Faida, and today we're going to be talking about the African diaspora in Mexico.
Whether UK likes it or not, I have to leave this country.
I became a member and a chief of the Vice Lord all in one day.
All these guys, winds are out of the north at Midway Airport.
His father.
Rice and beans. Okay, kids, we have had to come to an end of this beautiful set.
We are tired.
It's not about this.
This is the inside account of a week that brought the Rainbow Nation to its knees.
Right, essentially trying to inculcate into this. Welcome, everyone. This is the Progressive Mind Show. My name is Senna, aka Alinko. This is where we build our community by involving you and I in very pertinent conversations. We are grateful to God Almighty for giving us the opportunity to be coming your way. Again, remember, this is your number one community building platform. Show was supposed to start at 6 p.m., but we had to switch it up to 7 p.m. due to schedules. We ask that you bear with us, but it's always 6 p.m. on Tuesdays and 4 p.m. on Sundays. So thank you so much for joining us this evening. If you're watching us, including our guests who are in the virtual studio, you can go on Facebook now or click the link that we sent you, which is Progressive Minds. Share it so that your friends, network, and family can follow the story or the conversation we're about to have this evening. Erica, I see you were struggling to come in due to maybe a technical glitch. Okay, good. Erica, I think you're good now. You want to turn your camera on, Erica, so we can see you. Today is January 31st, 2023. January has come to an end already. We are about to start a beautiful month, and we know it's Black History in the United States. This is when we get to learn more about the contribution of African Americans to this, to our beautiful society and to this great nation, the United States of America, and also link those stories and the intricacies of it to the African story, to the diasporan story. And so we're looking forward to getting to know more and getting to make the connections. We will definitely be bringing you issues or subjects related to Black History Month this entire season. So stay tuned to the Progressive Minds. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitter. I'm joined this evening with my co-host Angie Mims to host this conversation. And I guess looks like we still have some guests in the background. Okay, so thank you so much, you all, for joining in. Angie, welcome to the show. We will take up to my segment. Angie, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really, really good and excited about the panelists on today.
Awesome. That is our co-host Angie. Please, if you have your camera off, please turn it on. The show has started. If you're a guest, you're coming in, please turn your camera on. Bernard, can you twitch your phone to the side if you can? Before we do go into the conversation this evening, we're going to take the Captain Mike segment. Brother, I know you've been waiting patiently in the background. Please take it from here.
All right. Well, right now we're looking at 10 degrees at Midway Airport. Winds are light out of the southwest. And we look at the rest of tonight. We have a low of about 10 degrees. Winds are going to be out of the west. Wednesday, tomorrow, southwest winds 5-10 miles an hour. A little bit of warming. Thursday, we're going to get back to a normal high around 32 degrees, low of about 20. Friday is going to be pretty bad. High of 15. It's going to be in the teens and windy, low of 9. It's going to feel colder than that because of the wind chill. Saturday, same thing, high of 27. But Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we're going to get back above normal temperatures, and we're going to have a slight chance of rain, maybe late Monday into early Tuesday, but very slight chance. So those could be really warmer days, and going to enjoy it. Going into sports, tonight the Chicago Bulls are going to be playing the Clippers here in Chicago starting right about now. And also in the African Nations Championship, Algeria 5, Niger 1, and my team, can't see my jersey, wearing a Senegalese jersey, Senegal 1, Madagascar 0. And getting into the health and fitness report. This will make a lot of people happy because a lot of us are coffee drinkers. So we looked into the health benefits of coffee. 5 benefits of black coffee. If you want to read the full article, go to blackdoctor.com. blackdoctor.com. Here are some of the benefits. 1, it may reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes. Many studies have shown that there are a direct relationship between drinking black coffee and a reduced risk of developing type 2 diabetes. The more coffee you drink, the less risk you have. 2, it can protect your brain. It's possible that drinking coffee regularly can reduce your risk of developing illnesses such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. You may also be less likely to experience cognitive decline, something I really need to look into. It may also protect your liver. According to several studies, drinking coffee can help you maintain a healthy liver. Those who drank 1 cup a day saw a 15% reduction in developing illnesses such as liver cancer and cirrhosis. If you drink up to 4 cups a day, that can be reduced as much as 71% of that risk. It can lower your risk of depression. Studies show that people who drink at least 1 cup of coffee a day have a decline of about 8% reduction in your depressive episodes. 5, it may prevent cancer. Research has suggested that the health benefit related to antioxidants that are naturally occurring in coffee could reduce your risk of developing endometrial, breast, liver, and colorectal cancers, at least 1 cup a day. Of course, if you have any concerns, if you don't drink caffeine, and if you have concerns about adding caffeine to your diet, check with your doctor or healthcare provider first, as we always recommend here at the Progressive Mind Show. And with that, Cena, going back to you.
Brother, thank you so much for those updates. He's not a doctor, but then when he gives his health reports, it sounds as though he's a health professional. So, guys, he's not. He's a pilot at United Airlines. So, if you're and has been with us for about 6 years now, we would encourage all our guests, if you fly, I'm sure you all fly, and if you do fly your next vacation, you make sure you get on United, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Bernard, it makes sense to fly United now.
Absolutely.
I hope so.
Well, thank you so much, Captain Mike. We really appreciate the updates. We're looking forward. Unfortunately, Ghana is not part of the African Cup of Nations that's currently going on. So, hopefully we make it the next time. We did go to the World Cup, which is, comforting, but we didn't make the African Cup of Nations. So, but I've been following the game, and thank you so much for bringing those updates, bro.
Absolutely. See you next week.
Absolutely. Thank you so much once again. So we will go to our guest for this evening. We have Anita in the background. Anita, if you're ready, I'm going to bring you in. Awesome. Okay, we do encourage that if you can turn your phone sideways, it helps with us as we go to Angie. How has your week been so far?
Well, my week has been pretty productive. I'm very grateful to God for, just bringing us to another day. So, I'm a woman of faith. So, I'm very, very I'm in a good mental space.
Okay.
So I'm eager to hear what the panelists have to say.
Thank you. It's living in Chicago with this very zigzag kind of weather. You are, as an individual, you are. It looks like you were demanded to always, motivate yourself to have an up spirit, because sometimes the weather can just, mess your whole mood. And today we had some sun, and I felt the difference from yesterday.
Yeah.
I felt uplifted. Mm-hmm. And I was talking to somebody else, and they kind of had the same vibe. So, so Chicagoans go through a lot weather-wise.
Yes.
Nonetheless, it's the most beautiful city in the world, and we love it. I know my guests agree with me. Well, today we want to discuss Black History Month. We're going to start the conversation. It is the Bolingbrook Black History Month Club Awareness Club. Let me take it again. The Bolingbrook Black History Month Awareness Club. They are celebrating 25 years by accelerating the dream. 25 years by accelerating the dream. It is very interesting. We will be happy to learn more about what this is all about. Once again, let me go to our guest. Okay, so looks like we're still working on. Anita, you okay? Your background is good. Bernard, your background is good. And Bernardine, I think you are all looking great. Janice, if I got the name correct. Janice, how are you doing today?
I'm well. Thank you so much.
All right. I think that, Janice, thank you so much for, now, this is the first time we're having you on the show, and so we're glad to have you. We just didn't get all the background information of all our guests, so we will be asking you to give us a brief introduction of who you are, and so we can get into the conversation itself. Anita Scott, you're welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, so there's a little lagging from her end, but we'll fix it in a little bit. Bernard, if you can hear me, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here.
Awesome. And then Bernardine, you're welcome to the show. Thank you so much. This is your first time. We're glad to see you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Great. So Bernardine is a fashion designer. She's the owner of Ethnic Hue Apparel. And again, we are glad to have her. Anita earlier, she is the executive director. Let's see if we can get Anita on. She is the executive director of Bolingbrook Black History Month Awareness Club. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then we have Janice Haywood, who is the vice president. We introduced her earlier. And then we also have Bernard Winston, who is the president and the co-founder. And I think we have everyone. So Angie, you can take it from here as our guests are ready for this evening's conversation.
Well, thank you all again for coming on. It is such an exciting time to have you all. You all look amazing. I am definitely into fashion, so I want to talk to the lady with the fashion and all the beautiful dresses behind her. But let's get right to it. So it appears that this is such another wonderful moment in history. It is, in fact, like you said, the Bolingbrook Black History Month Awareness Club, and you are celebrating 25 years by accelerating the dream. So I want to start with the president, Mr. Bernard Winston. Tell us, how did this all come about? You're clearly celebrating 25 years. Who prompted this? Who was the catalyst? Who got this started and made it a huge success like it is now?
Okay, well, thank you again for the invite. Wow, we are now global. Thank you for this platform, and appreciate everyone within the station. And again, my name is Bernard Winston, actually one of the co-founders with Anita Contil Scott, which is my business partner. So I would say, going back in this township of Bolingbrook, myself and Anita, kind of like we grew up in a community in which Black history wasn't really celebrated as I was growing up as a kid. And the time that I went away from college and had the opportunity to come back home, Anita and I got together. She had the idea, and at that time I was a party promoter, and did like a lot of comedy shows, fashion shows within my community. And Anita, another individual by the name of Felix George, and myself, we kind of like just got together, and we knew that this was an important concept, component that the community needed. So we got together, and today it's been 25 years, and again, it was just a missing component, a missing piece within our community, and 25 years going strong.
Thank you so much for that. Huge congratulations to you and to Miss Anita. And then I want to ask you all really quickly. So with this being, we're sitting on the cusp of Black History Month, although we all know that we're Black every day. I hope I'm not being too forward, but that's just how I feel. I celebrate Blackness all year round. And yet here we are on the cusp, just a little under 5 hours, perhaps, where we will be celebrating Black History Month as a global thing. Has there ever been a time while you're trying to bring all of this together and to raise awareness, particularly in the Bolingbrook area, where you felt like, you know what, maybe this may be too much, it won't be accepted, maybe we should just stay, in our lanes and in our pockets and just stick with what we've been taught? Was there ever a time when you felt like it's not worth it? Anybody?
I think I will have Janice respond to that. Since she's the vice president.
Oh yes, absolutely. To answer that question, I would humbly say no. And the reason why, the whole community is behind us. The village of Bolingbrook has been a complete sponsor and partner with us, as well as Valley View School District. We have just dozens and dozens of sponsors, from small business owners to large corporations. We've had corporations such as WeatherTech to the small mom and pop stores, and the whole entire community, not even Bolingbrook, but Naperville, Romeoville, just all over, have been supportive. Each year it grows. Every year we get anywhere from, depending on the weather, 500 to 700 people coming to the event. And oftentimes people will tell us each event is they've learned something new, they're entertained, and Anita coined the phrase education, or in Anita will have to say it. It's education plus entertainment joined together. And it's just a whole community event. People expect us to have a normal, our normal explosive celebration. And it's just a community event. So we're very well supported.
I'm really glad to hear that. And so with this being a well-supported movement, if you will, you mentioned Romeoville, I believe you mentioned, did you mention Naperville too?
Yeah.
Yes, and so these are all suburban or northwest. Well, Bolingbrook is where? Where would you put that on the map when it comes to Illinois?
Southwestern. We're a southwestern suburb, a western southwestern suburb.
Okay, and Naperville is kind of north, right?
It's a western suburb as well. So you go just straight out 55 for the most part, or 88.
Okay, the reason why I'm bringing that up is because it's growing. You know, and some of these suburban areas are predominantly white, or seemingly, you know, with a lot of white concentration. And so I just wanted the viewing audience to know that you are in fact growing. Let me ask you, because I had the press release, but I want the listening audience and the viewing audience to know, who are some of the featured guests that will actually be coming on to the show or are emceeing? I know that person, but I want you to tell us some of the highlighting guests that you'll have.
Yeah, Bernard, you could go ahead and take that one. I know you have worked really hard with that, with getting quite a few people on.
Yeah, so so this year we actually have the support for the Bolingbrook ROTC, of course. We want to also recognize, you know, the kids within our community. As far as our MC, we have the TV newscaster Art Norman, which is I want to say he's been on the TV for about 20 something years here in Chicago, Illinois. He's a phenomenal newscaster. We also have Danny Davis. Danny Davis actually is one of the political leaders here in Chicago. If you look him up, you know, he's actually have been doing a lot of big things here in the Chicagoland area, and he's also going to be recognized as one of our honored guests. And in addition to that, we also have an individual, one of our school board members by the name of Liz Campbell. This particular individual has been part of the Bolingbrook community for over 25 years. And, you know, we just wanted to recognize those individuals that actually have been part of the school board system. And she's been a pillar here within the Bolingbrook community. And we just thought it'd be a great opportunity for us to recognize her and her efforts. And in addition to that, we also have a fashion show. You know, within our fashion show, I believe we have about 3 or 4 boutiques that's have been great to provide their list of outfits for the community. In addition to that, we also have African dancers, a violinist. She's an African female and African American female, that is. She's also great here in Chicago. She's just one of the finest violinists here in the Chicagoland area. We have poetry readings and much more. However, most importantly, this is a free event that we have within the community. We don't charge anything. We welcome everybody within the community itself.
Wonderful. I love the fact that you spoke about it being free. I want to get to Miss Bernadine. Is it Pra?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, wonderful. I wanted to ask you really quickly. These are scholarships that are going to be given out to students, high school students, and you all have done so much work, it seems like. And so based off of what we've heard about the hundreds of guests that'll be coming, you have 7th Congressional District Congressman Danny Q. Davis, along with Dr. Art Norman, who's been with NBC since around 1982. Let me ask you, with you being so generous with the scholarships, our children and students coming back and just thanking you for all of the work that you've been doing. And, I want to know whose brainchild that was too that came up with the scholarships.
And we don't do that much here.
Can you hear me? You can't hear me?
Looks like we're not getting the feedback from Bernadine, and so we would probably try to get another question. We'll try to get to Janice. Bernadine, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I can.
All right. Did you want her to reiterate the question?
Yeah, the question was about scholarships, is it?
Yes.
Is it? There's an echo, so I couldn't it's like I'm talking back to myself.
Oh, okay. Sorry to hear that. Are you still getting the echo now?
No.
Great.
No,
okay.
It's better.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you were talking about the scholarships for the students. This is my first time joining this program, and so I may not have a lot to say on that because I was invited to just join in the fashion the fashion show segment of the event. So I have very little knowledge on how the scholarship is it came about.
No problem.
Anita.
But having said that, I just have a follow-up question for Bernadine.
Yeah.
As an African, how long have you been aware of the Bolingbrook Black Awareness Club?
I heard about it last year, surprisingly, and I was really surprised that there was something like that going on. And someone had told me about it and was wondering why I didn't show up with my clothes and my designs. And I said, oh, there's something like that. And so I was saying I really need to get into it, but I didn't even know it was about to happen until my friend Felicia contacted me on that. So I was very grateful that I caught it this time, and I'm very happy to jump on board and be a part of it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I think Anita just joined. Anita Scott, can you hear us good?
Yes, I can hear you. Sorry
Awesome.
about the technical difficulties.
Yeah, we're good now. I'm glad to have you in the studio. And you and Bernard are the brainchild of this whole club, Bolingbrook Black History Awareness Club. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll claim that.
Awesome. And proud to the two of you coming up with this idea. Had there be any type of Black history, this type of club in that jurisdiction?
No, which is really why we came up with it. Just looking around, knowing that it was Black History Month, and always just having a kind of a civil rights, mindset, and wanting to promote African American culture. When there wasn't anything in town, we decided to create something so that the community could celebrate, not just individual churches but the whole entire community, just to kind of recognize the contributions of African Americans to America in general.
You spoke as though you were here when I was doing the introduction, and which is very powerful, because this whole conversation is about understanding and place and creating more awareness of the work of the African American to our society and this country. And I think that being an African, we need to increase this awareness a lot more. And so I'm glad that, Anita, you're first generation Ghanaian American, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Awesome. And so I'm sure you can connect, or you can relate to what I'm talking about when it comes to creating awareness in the African American and the African community, which is probably why you initiated this. But I want to also ask Bernardine, how long have you been in the Bolingbrook, Romeoville area?
Whoa. Since 97, so probably about 25 years, maybe.
Exactly. As soon as she said whoa, I'm like, okay, she
20-something years. Yeah, all 25 right. years. Yes.
Awesome. And in the span of 25 years, you never heard about anything of the sort?
No, and everything is in Chicago. I didn't know we had anything close to where we lived. Right. So I was very happy to know that something like that was going on.
Would you say that it speaks to that disconnect when it comes to Africans and then African Americans?
Yes.
So the fact that you've been around for 25 years and never heard of them, would you say that this part?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And thanks for establishing that. And this is beautiful and powerful to see you all come to do this. It speaks to the necessity or the urgency of this our time as Africans, as African diasporans, as Black people, that in this era, the most important thing is what you guys are doing, connecting us, making sure that we are coming together as Black people to celebrate who we are, connecting to our heritage. And this is very powerful. So we are glad that you are here and you're about to celebrate this huge event. I know that Angie had some follow-up questions for you. Angie, please go ahead.
No, I mean, I was enjoying listening to how, she's actually come on board, and seems like she has pressed the gas since then. And so that's really a good thing. And I'm glad to see that Miss Anita is back. What I do want to ask, though, is because, as a Chicagoland resident, when we go into these areas, as Senna said, and then he used Miss Bernardine as an example, why do you think that within the suburban areas of Chicago, awareness is not a priority when it comes to the African American community and bridging the gap with Africa itself?
Is that for me?
Angie, let me elect Anita to respond to that.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. She said Bernardine. Okay. So,
Miss Anita.
Okay. I think that maybe living in the suburbs is a little bit more isolated than living in the city, where a lot of people are more interacting every day. And I think that people in the suburbs have not traditionally felt a need to celebrate diversity, just because they tend to just kind of live in their house and maybe talk to their neighbor. Where in Chicago, everyone's getting on the transportation and the CTA bus, and you have apartments, and there's so much more diversity and so much more culture on an everyday basis. So I think that's why it was lacking. And now things have really changed over the course of 25 years, just from day one, where there was a "What is Black History Month?" question when we brought up the idea of even doing this event. When is Black History Month? Why is it in February? February's cold. Can we do it in June? No, we can't do it in June because Black History Month is February. So just that education piece was lacking, I think, throughout the schools and just in the suburbs generally, because diversity, is something that people are exposed to. And if you're not exposed to it, you don't know about it. And if you don't know about it, you don't celebrate it, and you don't make attempts to understand it. And I think that way back when, like 25 years ago, there just wasn't a need for people to put themselves in a position where they needed to accept or understand diversity, and especially the African American culture in general. So I think that's where the difference is.
And so with what you saying and clearly observing and knowing that it is, pretty isolated, has this particular organization been able to, outside of giving scholarships, penetrate the school system, making sure perhaps that curriculum maybe is even being taught? And are there relationships within your local school communities?
We're definitely working on building the relationships. Just this year, we had a few schools reach out to us and say, Black History Month is coming. What could you do to help out with our schools? I know that there's several schools, even that my children go to, where they do cultural dishes and African dishes during the Black History Month, and different activities. And so I think there's definitely more awareness. We've always had on our agenda how we want to infiltrate the schools and make sure that children are learning about their heritage in the curriculum, which is one of the reasons why we also founded the program, so that if you weren't learning it in the classroom and you weren't being affirmed that you do come from a powerful heritage, then this is the opportunity to be exposed to that. So we've brought in lots of different speakers just to educate. And I know Janice was trying to find the word. It's education, edutainment. So education and entertainment combined, edutainment. And so we want to educate while we're entertaining people at the same time. And I think that a lot of the school officials that are coming, we're partners with the Valley View School District. I think that they've seen where they can improve the curriculum and have different programs and activities to honor and recognize Black history.
And I did like Bernadine to respond to the earlier question. My apologies. I didn't mean to switch it on you. I just wanted to, so go ahead.
So Anita was talking about she was talking about how the community is getting awareness on this. I'll say that even as I'm talking tomorrow, I have to make jollof rice for a youth group. A youth group at our church, and they are celebrating Black History Month, and the young adults are eager to eat some of our food, so they have requested for me to make some food for them. So that's bringing in people to kind of have a taste of Africa or other cultures, and a lot of people are very open and willing to get to know a lot of things that we have to offer in the community. So for me, in general, like as I was talking about the fashion aspect, when I started sewing, I was making these clothes and stuff. I was thinking about how to integrate other cultures, to other people to be able to wear our clothes and also feel like they belong. So I have had a lot of people who have been coming to me interested in knowing a lot about my culture, because I use my sewing skills to help in that way, to give awareness to people also. Yes.
Yeah.
I hope they didn't get to. Hope they didn't get thrown off. When you said jollof rice, I just exploded with excitement. Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Senna. Go ahead.
I was going to ask Janice that prior to the formation of this powerful club, or prior to you even joining, what was your, I would say, perception when it comes to the African or even the African and the Caribbean communities or other non-Black Americans, right? Who, in America, what were some of the things that you hear? What were the perceptions, and how have you tried with this club to bridge the gap?
Sure. So I'm from a very ethnic, and I'm originally from Iowa, and so there wasn't a lot of ethnicity there. But when I went to college, I went to the University of Kansas, and that's really where I had my first exposure to the African community. We were the the BSU, the Black Student Union, and the African Union, Student Union would join together to do different activities to fight for social justice. And so it was that was my first experience with partnering with African organizations and learning more about the African different cultures. Coming to Chicago, it is, I mean, every culture is represented in Chicago. And the beauty about being in Bolingbrook is Bolingbrook has the second most, it's the second most diverse suburb in the Chicagoland area. Bolingbrook High School is the fifth most diverse high school. The middle schools and elementary schools are all in the top 5 as far as diversity. So Bolingbrook has a lot of diversity here. And I did want to touch on, Anita's very humble about how she started this. The Black History Month organization was the first ethnic organization to do a celebration in the Bolingbrook area. After the success of what Anita and Bernard and the original, another original organizer, Felix, had done, all of the other ethnic celebrations started after that, the Pakistani, the Latina, the Filipino celebrations, and many, many more. So not only is Anita the original founder for the Bolingbrook Black History Month Awareness Club, but for Bolingbrook, they all can thank Anita, and they have actually recognized that. So hats off to Anita for really helping just start Bolingbrook as far as getting the different ethnicities recognized. So we really appreciate that.
Well, we'll have Anita respond to that.
Well, she's right. I am humble and shy sometimes, but yes, you know, also Bernard is a founder, and it is good to be a I don't know what they call it, but just starting something that, you know, other people were able to follow. I guess a leader would be the right word, right? And setting up the blueprint where to let people know it's okay to celebrate diversity, and celebrating diversity doesn't mean, you know, you're putting another culture down or saying that someone is less than. But be proud of your heritage, be proud of who you are, open up the culture, let other people also understand and participate. And that's what, you know, allows people to live in harmony, because you can understand people's culture, be exposed to it, and recognize and respect other people's differences in their cultures.
Awesome. I know that Angie has a follow-up question, but then I want to get this two quick questions out quickly. Anita, you are a lawyer, and so now that we have you on the platform, we would just have people. I mean, we didn't get a chance to, you know, introduce you properly. So what area of law do you practice? Perhaps someone is watching and would want to use your service.
I do a lot of family law, which involves divorces, child support, those type of issues, and a lot of estate planning, as well as real estate. Basically, there's a general practice. I tell people what we don't do is bankruptcy, and we don't do immigration. Okay. Everything else is kind of a little bit of fair game, but what I've said before is usually my specialty.
Thank you so much. My last question to the panel before Angie comes in is to Bernard. What is there to celebrate when it comes to the Bolingbrook Black History Month Awareness Club? What if someone is coming to this event or haven't heard about it, and you of course you are celebrating? What would you say is that? What is there to celebrate? Straight. I guess that's my question.
Yes, thanks. I would say celebrating our culture, celebrating celebrating unity, unity, you know, within our community. You know, it's like Anita had mentioned. You know, we're just here to be a pillar within the community, and celebrating partnership. You know, we actually have a partnership with Valley View School District, and again, it just really open up doors within our community. Echoing off of what Nita had indicated, we have local school organizations contacting us so that we could bring awareness within our own community, and that's essential, to us within the community itself. So again, it's just really just celebrating us, celebrating Black culture, celebrating everyone within our community.
Powerful. Thank you so much, Bernard.
Okay, well, if you're just tuning in, you're listening to the Progressive Mind Show. I am your co-host, Miss Angie, along with the founder and visionary, King Alinko, also known as Senna. And we're getting a chance to talk to about the Bolingbrook Black History Month Awareness Club. You just heard Brother Bernard speak. He is actually the former DuPage Township trustee and financial advisor. And he's also the co-founder for this Black History Month Awareness Club. I want to get to some of the comments that actually are coming through the feed. There are some questions that we want to address. Ms. Rosalind Bates has the exact question that I want. She says, can you please post the information for Ms. Pra? We want to address this.
Wait, Angie, do you want us to go from the bottom up, or?
I see Miss Rosalind's question, so I was just going to go down. So
so let me do this. Let me make sure that you can. Is that one? Is that one?
No.
Okay. So unfortunately, Angie can't see what I see, so we will fix that. Is that the one?
Nope. She just was talking about the weather impacts. So she wants to know about how we can obtain information from Ms. Pra's store and access her beautiful dresses and everything that I'm wanting to see in the background.
Yes. Bernadine, you want to give us your information?
Yes. My business is Ethnic Hue, and I'm located in Romeoville. My business is from in my basement, as you can see. It's opened Tuesday through Saturday, and from 10 to 5. On Saturdays, close to the summer, I do pop-ups where you can contact me on my Facebook or my website or Instagram. My information is there. Basically, I will love to have anyone who is looking to make a custom-made outfit or to buy some of my African wares from my boutique that is connected to my sewing business.
What's the number?
Phone number is 815-212-1008.
One more time.
815-212-1008.
Okay. So we have it in the feed, and so anyone who wants to get that number, the website will also try and get in there a bit much later. It's 7:42 p.m. Central, and we're talking to this great people from the Bolingbrook Black History Month Awareness Club. In a bit, if you want to call in, ask a question, or share an idea, recommend a special program that they can include in this big celebration coming up, it's 815-277-5047. 815-277-5047. Or you just want to congratulate them for a great job done so far. Feel free to do so as well. Angie, okay, we will take a few more of the comments.
Okay, so my mom is on and she's enjoying, and I know that we're going to be coming to see Miss Park because we want outfits made. But to the real question, she wants to know when this actual event is taking place. So we have here the president and the founder and the co-founder of this beautiful organization. So if either of them want to speak on when it's going to be taking place and where it'll be, that would be great.
So, you want to take it or?
We will have the lady give us the announcement. Chinese.
Oh, sure. So the event is this Saturday, February 4th, from 2 to 5 p.m. It will be at the Bolingbrook High School in the auditorium. Again, in Bolingbrook this Saturday, February the 4th, from 2 to 5 p.m.
Thank you. And because of time, Angie, let me just get some of these questions, comments out. I know we have access. I mean, you can see them as I do from my end, so we'll fix that. This is from a Linda Whitehead. I think Anita's comments are very much on point regarding the reasons diversity efforts are not as prevalent in the suburbs as they are in the city of Chicago. Thank you so much for a brilliant point, Linda Whitehead. This is from Laurie Bell Swilly, and it's
She says add it to the chat.
Okay. Here we have this coming from Stanislaus Reed. Hatep, brothers and sisters, thanks for taking the time to do this program. Stanislaus, thank you so much for your time and being part of the conversation. I think Linda, when is the okay? I think we already responded to this. There was a point that I know I'm missing. Thank you so much for that. And then if I'm missing your comments, it's just because we're trying to pull it, and when if it's not intentional, if we miss your comment, please pardon with us. Weather definitely impacts Chicagoans. This came from Rosalind earlier. And Stephen Whitehead, I think we already read something from Stephen Whitehead. Oh, Mike, Captain Mike did actually put the website to the resource link in the feed. So if anyone wants to follow up with that, so that would be it for some of the comments that have come through so far. Rosalind says Black History Month awareness, everyone. All right, it's about 40 minutes to 8 p.m. We will try and get a little more information from our guests this evening, and we'll wrap up. If you still want to call and encourage or say something nice to them, ask a question, 815-277-5047. Before Angie comes with her next question, I just want to use the opportunity to announce the initiative of the Progressive Mind Show. As I stated earlier, we are the #1 community building show in the world, period. Our goal is to make sure we engage in these conversations that makes our community a better place. However, we also have engaged in the diaspora connection in a very at a very high level, where we think that our efforts, our collective efforts as folks in the diaspora, can bring healing and growth of the African diaspora, or both between the African diasporans and continental Africans. As a result, we have created an event called the Exchange Ceremony, which we started in 2019. We continued it last year, where we crowned Reverend Jesse Jackson as an African king by bringing an African king from Ghana to perform this coronation. This year, we are bringing 10 kings from Ghana. Again, the conversation of bringing the diaspora together is very, very important to us. And so we take this conversation very seriously. So we want to have our audience to mark this date, the 24th of June this year. We're bringing 10 kings from Ghana to engage in the healing process of continental Africans and African Americans. Of course, the Caribbean, South Americans are also part of this. So mark your date, 24th of June this year. The third annual exchange ceremony is coming on. It's going to be held at the west side of Chicago, the Austin community to be specific. So please mark your date as we come together globally to celebrate Black heritage, Black culture, and Black history. We will be providing more details as we go along on our social media pages. You can follow the Progressive Minds page on Facebook. We're on Twitter, and of course, Instagram and YouTube. Thank you so much for bearing with us. We will go to Angie for any comments. We have a short commercial that we need to announce to our audience in addition to the one I just made. We'll take the short break. When we come back, Angie would continue with the conversation. Stay tuned. You're still watching the Progressive Mind Show right here in the beautiful city of Chicago. Where is the commercial? Okay, here it is.
There is a crowd. Aglo, Aglo, Aglo. Aglo Bolingbrook Lighthouse is a network of caring women. We are a dynamic global movement with a single mission to see God's purpose fulfilled on earth as it is in heaven. Our mandate is every nation touched and every heart changed for God. We invite you to our prayer meeting every Saturday and breakfast meeting held every last Saturday of the month from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. via Zoom meeting. For more information, please contact Dickness Rebecca Modi at 630-297-1471 or Reverend George Ofe Ado, our advisor, at 630-414-9505. We look forward to having a refreshing time with you in the Lord. Thank you and stay blessed.
A cry in my heart.
Welcome back to the show. Any comments if we haven't read it yet, bear with us. We'll try and get it out before the show ends. This one just came through. It says, please go to the Bolingbrook Black History Month Awareness Club and we will post the designers information right after the show tonight. The Bolingbrook Black History Month Awareness Club Facebook page. You should get all the information, and including Anita's information if you need attorney services. When somebody was joining, I'd seen a CPA. I don't know if that was Jenny's, or I seen a CPA somewhere whilst we were joining. It probably was one of your guests who couldn't make it to the platform. All right, Angie, please go ahead.
Thank you all for being so patient with us. I am really excited. Let me just say this about the event that you all are having. And so I guess in closing, I would want to encourage people to participate. This, again, is a free event, but more so, I want to put concentration on why it's important to celebrate our Blackness. And so if any of you are able to answer this question, I want to pose this question to Ms. Anita. Why is it important for young people, especially, to celebrate their Blackness, considering that hair has always been made fun of in regards to your hair is nappy, or it's not straight enough, and your skin is too dark, or the lighter you are, the brighter it is. How can we get young people to celebrate Blackness?
Well, I think a lot of it is, when you understand that you come from a heritage of great people, and I think it's all about the education. Growing up, I grew up in Chicago until we moved to Bolingbrook, and you hear about your Martin Luther King, you hear about your Rosa Parks,
yes,
but you don't hear about the person that did the first open heart surgery or invented the stoplight,
yes,
or just the major achievements that have been made by African American people in general. And you're just not promoted as being intelligent if you're the little Black boy or the little Black girl. There's all these stereotypes made about made about who you're going to become. You're just going to go to jail, or you're going to be a teenage pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that having this program and being able to encourage the youth by showing them that they are successful people. We've brought Jesse Jackson to our event. We've done Hall of Fame awards where we brought the first African American United pilot to speak to the youth and to provide books, and just giving that education and saying you are okay where who you are. You are okay in your own skin. You're not less than. You're not less competent. You're not less intelligent. You have the skills of anybody, and you can do anything that you want to do. If you dream it, you can achieve it. And that's kind of where we are with this theme this year, accelerating the dream. Just saying that we've come so far, but yet we still have, further to go. And so just that encouragement. And there's a lot of kids that leave our program and they're like, oh, I didn't know this, or I didn't know that, or they're excited because they got to see something for the first time, a Black magician, an African dance troupe, things that promote positivity in culture and accepting who they are. People that have, braids in their hair or natural hair, and saying it's okay. And that doesn't make you less successful or less attractive. And so that's, the best that I can say that. And, being a mother of 3 boys, I want them to understand where they came from and to be proud of their heritage all the time, every day.
Yes. Well, I think that was beautifully stated, Attorney Anita. I want people to know that the Bolingbrook Black History Month Awareness Club is fully supported by the Village of Bolingbrook, Bolingbrook Bank and Trust, Walmart Beeline, Illinois American Water, and Governor State University. And so you all are beautifully supported. This is an event that you would definitely want to consider and come to. It is, again, a free event. They will have, in fact, Dr. Art Norman of Channel 5 News. They will also have award recipients such as U.S. Congressman Danny K. Davis, in conjunction with the School District 365 Youth School Board member Elizabeth Campbell, as well as Deborah Vines, who was recently featured on CNN. And so this is, in fact, an event that you want to come to. It is an event that is free. It is an event that celebrates Blackness. It is an event that actually gives our young people scholarships to further their education. And so, having identified that, my last question would be to perhaps Miss Janice. She's the quiet engine, I see. And so I want to hear from Miss Janice lastly. Miss Janice, what would you tell to young women why they should celebrate Blackness? What would you say to young women who are in their 20s and 30s? What would you say to them?
Now, I'm raising a young daughter. She's 15, and I educate her as much as I can. I give her my story as a Black woman. And for us to give our story, that is the greatest gift that we can. I believe that every culture has that ability. But for some reason in the Black culture, it's deemed as a negative. We don't want to talk about the past. We don't want to talk about the things that have inhibited us or have impacted us. And knowledge is power.
Yes.
The only way we're going to grow is if we grow from the past.
Yes.
And I think that is a huge benefit for us to teach each other as women, as Black women. And to give back to our younger children, the young adults, like you were saying. I give you an example. My daughter, a few years ago, they were celebrating some Black History Month, and they said something like, Madam C.J. Walker was the first Black female self-made millionaire. And I looked at my daughter and I said, she was the first female self-made millionaire, period.
Yes.
Do with being Black. She was the first self-made millionaire. And she looked at me and she recognized right then and there that someone else telling our story, it has a different twist and turn to it. And so we don't want to dilute who we are. We want to celebrate who we are. And no one can celebrate us better than us.
Yes.
So that's why I would tell my sisters, that's why I'm part of this organization. I owe Bernard Winston and Anita the opportunity to have me come on board over 12 years ago. And so I really, really, truly, truly love the opportunity for us to tell our story our way and to everyone unapologetically tell our story. So for everyone to listen. So I'm not that quiet. Can you tell?
No, I wanted to hear from you, and you have such a beautiful voice. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking to this beautiful panel, and I want to reiterate the fact that this wonderful free event will, in fact, be taking place this Saturday, February 4th, from 2 p.m. until 5 p.m. at the Bolingbrook High School, located 65 Raider Way in Bolingbrook, Illinois. Again, that address is 65 Raider Way, Bolingbrook, Illinois, 60440. I want to give some quick shout outs to our listeners. I want to thank Pastor Maddie Matthews from Philadelphia Holiness and Elgin. She's on. The beautiful Naila Ali is on. Wonderful co-worker. Also, Minister Stephen Whitehead, Rosalind Bates. She was a great panelist before. And if I missed anybody, please forgive me. Karen is always on. She's always supporting. She's always sharing. And so this is the type of information that our listening audience needs to hear. And so we do encourage you to share the page, to spread the word about Progressive Minds. And these are the type of conversations that we have for empowerment, for upliftment, for educational purposes, for a little edutainment, as I think I just learned that word today, and I'm so happy about it. And so having said all of that, I'm Angie Mims, your co-host, and you are now back in the hands of our founder, visionary, Senna, also known as the Linko.
Thank you so much, Angie, and for everyone who has joined this conversation. And I think Bernard was trying to make a point earlier. Bernard.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, so while so unfortunately we lost him. Well, hopefully we can get him before we wrap up. But again, it's been wonderful coming your way. This is what we're striving for. 4th of February, which is this coming Saturday, right?
Yeah.
This coming Saturday. Bolingbrook is the place to be at. Bolingbrook High School. You can't miss it. Okay, Bolingbrook High School. If you Google it, it will show up. And I also would like to take this opportunity to perhaps invite the Bolingbrook Black History Month Awareness Club to join us June 24th. Let's celebrate the global African diaspora together.
Yeah.
Because we're honoring Congressman Daniel Davis. We're going to be crowning him as a king, just like we did for Reverend Jesse Jackson. Okay. Yeah, we're going to be crowning a queen as well. That's going to be a surprise, so stay tuned. It's going to be Ghanaian royals. The theme is restoring the royalty. This is the era where we bring our kings and queens from Africa to restore the royalty that was stripped away from our brothers and sisters in the diaspora. It's the right thing to do when it comes to bridging the gap, healing most importantly, and also discussing how we can trade, we can exchange our resources. There's so much resources within our communities. Okay, the abundance of resources in Africa. I think that our brothers and sisters in the African American community are not taking much advantage of the resources in Africa as they should. Why? Because of that separation, because of that disconnect. But this is the era we try to do more of that. And thankfully, the government of Ghana has opened the door for African Americans to return home, but our return should be meaningful. And so how do we make this very impactful? Because right now, China, Asians, and other Europeans and other races are benefiting so much. Even Indians and Lebanese are taking so much advantage of all these resources in Africa. And with a 1.8 trillion spending power of the African American community, a percentage of that in Ghana will go a long way, and vice versa, right? And so Anita, Bernard, and Janice will talk later after this, see how we can collaborate and bring in global Africans, global Blacks to Chicago to celebrate us in a very powerful way. And so we're looking forward towards that. Bernard, please go ahead and make the comment that you were trying to make earlier.
No, actually, I was just going to mention individuals can actually have the opportunity to go on our website as well. We do have a website called BolingbrookBlackHistory.com, and that information, all the information is actually embedded in our website as well.
Thank you once again, Bernard Winston, the president and co-founder of Black History Month Awareness Club, Bolingbrook, and Anita, co-founder. Anita, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you very much for having us.
My pleasure. And then our only designer, this lady was part of the exchange ceremony last year. Okay. Yeah. She designed she was in charge of the cultural fashion show piece of the event last year. Her designs were splendid. So we're looking forward to working with you this year. And to Janice, who was the co-founder, thank you so much for coming on the show again. And of course, our guest host, NG, for a great job. And for everyone who has helped the show to become a success, thank you so much. Felicia Apre, how can we forget you? She made all this possible. So Felicia, the master connector, the master publicist, the master PR, the only PR in Chicago, Felicia. Thank you so much. Karen, thank you very much for being part of the show. Well, remember, to whom much is given, much is required. I am your host, Alinko, with my co-host, Angie Mims, with including our guest, saying thank you so much. We'll see you this coming Sunday, 4 p.m. The director for the diaspora, the director in charge of diaspora affairs at the president's office in Ghana, will be on the show this Sunday. He missed last Sunday due to circumstances beyond his control. But this Sunday at 4 p.m., he'll be here discussing beyond the return and what is to come when it comes to diasporans coming home, dual citizenship, and all of that. So you want to join us this Sunday at 4 p.m. Once again, have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. See you guys.